Hey there, welcome to or back to my booktube channel. Today I'm going to be going over everything that I read in the month of September. This was a really good reading month for me. I only read 4 books, but all of them were 4 stars or higher in my opinion. Yeah, there was just some really good book choices this month for me, and I'm super excited to tell you guys about it. First, I have A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. This is book 2 of the Saga of the Unfated duology. It's the follow-up to A Fate Inked in Blood. This was really good. I gave it 4 stars. I felt like a lot happened in this book, though. Everything happened so quickly. There was a lot to take in. I also think I did a disservice to myself by not rereading or doing a very good job refamiliarizing myself with A Fate Inked in Blood before diving into this. So it took me a little bit to kind of catch up to what had happened previously before going into this one. I did think this was a really good follow-up. It expanded on the world and the politics of what was going on. You learned a lot more about the magic and the gods that control this world. There was a lot of trying to figure out who was actually the villain in this story. In book 1, Freya, our main character, at the end of it, spoiler alert, she gets kidnapped basically by a rival Viking clan. And so throughout this whole book, she's kind of torn between the original clan that she came from and the one that she is now sort of a part of, because as she's learning all this new information, she's not quite sure who to trust anymore, and us as readers, I don't know who to trust either. And even though there are 2 points of view in this book, there is the female main character Freya and the male main character Bjorn. Even when you have Bjorn's point of view, who is sort of accustomed to and has lived in both clans in his life, you still don't really know what is going on. And you still don't know who is in the right and who is in the wrong and who to actually trust. And so when the plot twists happen and the plot point reveals happen, it's very surprising. I did not see a lot of it coming, and I thought that was really exciting. Overall, I really did enjoy this one. I gave it 4 stars, and I would highly recommend this duology in general. It was a good departure from a lot of the other sort of romanticities that are out there, where a lot of the romanticities are sort of fae-based. This is Viking-based, and I really enjoyed this. Next, I have a book that just came out in the month of September, and it was actually one of my most anticipated reads for this year, and that would be Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This takes place in the same world as her other duology, Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. This is more adult, where the other series is more YA. They're both amazing. Her YA duology is also amazing. This took everything that I loved about Divine Rivals and elevated it. The characters in this book were so amazing, so well fleshed out. This fleshed out and expanded on the world even more. You learned so much more about the gods in this world and how their part of the world works. Because in this story, you follow Matilda, who is the daughter of a skyward god and an underling god. Her god power is the ability to walk all the realms in the world, and she is the herald. She carries messages for gods, for humans. She has the ability to sort of walk all over the place. So you follow her as she grows up in this world, and as she develops relationships with the other gods that she interacts with, as well as a human. His name is Vincent. You get a handful of chapters throughout the book from his point of view. It's mostly from Matilda's point of view, though. This was just so beautifully written. The way Rebecca describes things and the way that she builds her characters and builds the relationships between the other characters in the story is just so beautiful. You really get emotionally invested in these characters and their relationships. and you just feel so immersed in the world that she writes. So I had high expectations for this. It exceeded my expectations. This would be considered a 6-star read for me. I don't really give out 6 stars, but it was just that good. My official rating for this is 5. If I tended to give out 6 stars, this would be that. This is definitely going to be probably the best book that I read this year. It's going to be very, very difficult to top this. I was just so fascinated in every part of the story. I was so fascinated to figure out what was going to happen next and what decisions Matilda was going to make in her own life as she grows up in this world. If you even remotely semi-enjoyed the Divine Rivals duology, read this. Read this. You will absolutely love it. Up next is another fantasy book. I was very fantasy heavy this month, and that would be Arcana Academy. I wasn't quite sure what to expect going into this book. I hadn't heard a ton about it from other people, but it came in one of my book subscription boxes. I figured I would give it a chance. The magic system in this world is all tarot based, which was a unique experience for me because I am not familiar with tarot at all. For someone that knows nothing about tarot, I think the author did a really good job explaining what the cards are and, as it pertains to this specific magic system, how that all works. This was another book where I didn't really know where the story was going next. It's semi-mystery, like there's a mystery that she needs to solve while also completing tasks. Kind of trials. The main character, she was in prison. She gets freed from the prison with the help of one of the crown princes, and he throws her into the Arcana Academy, which is where kids that possess innate magic ability go there to learn how to ink cards and use them properly so that they can be of use to the crown. The prince sends her to the academy while claiming that she is the lost heir to this clan that was destroyed by him, and that she is also his bride-to-be. So while she's there learning everything that she needs to know about Arcana, he is also using her for his own means to achieve and gain the power that he wants. Meanwhile, she is there to learn about what happened to her sister and her mother, who have gone missing and who have been reported as dead. And of course, our main female character and the prince fall in love and have a relationship throughout too. Be warned though, this is not a standalone. There is supposedly a book 2 coming that has not been announced yet, and this book, of course, ends on a pretty serious cliffhanger. But this book did really surprise me, and I really, really enjoyed it. Once I got into it, I could not put it down, and I needed to know what happened next, and that cliffhanger definitely absolutely got me. In the end, I gave this 5 stars. So that's my second 5-star read for the month, which is very exciting. And then finally, I have The Gilded Heiress. This is marketed as a spicy Anastasia retelling. That pretty much fits the description. A con man from Boston. His father used to work for this wealthy family in New York City. That wealthy family's daughter was kidnapped one night and never seen again. And his father was let go from the work that he did with this wealthy family as a result of that investigation. And he always resented that wealthy family because his father losing his job resulted in his father's death and his family living in poverty in Boston. And so one day he's out walking the streets and pickpocketing people when he comes across this woman singing. And his first reaction is, gee, she looks a lot like the matriarch of the wealthy family my father used to work for. And so he comes up with this scheme to say, hey, I'm a manager. I think you got talent. You need to be on Broadway. But in reality, he's going to bring her to New York and try and pass her off as the missing daughter and collect the very large sum of reward money for finding her. And if you've seen the movie Anastasia, it's very much the same concept of trying to pass off this girl as the missing heir, only to find out that she actually is the missing heir. So there were not a lot of surprises in this at all. It was pretty straightforward, but it was a very easy read and it was very enjoyable. I really did enjoy it. It was a good time. I'm sort of waffling between giving it 3.5 stars and 4 stars because I did enjoy it. But when I sort of think about the other 4-star romance type books, I'm not quite sure that this is quite up to that same level, but I definitely would recommend it. Like, if somebody was like, hey, I'm thinking about reading this, I'd probably be like, yeah, go ahead. Like, it was a good time. So make of that what you will. I would say read the back of the book if you think that piques your interest. You're pretty much getting what you signed up for, which was good. There were not a ton of surprises, and I very much enjoyed that. So I think I am going to settle on giving it 4 stars. That's everything that I read this month. I hope you enjoyed that video, and let me know what your favorite read of the month was. Mine was definitely Wild Reverence. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!